That's all it takes. One person to. All right, we'll wait another couple minutes though. But I can introduce myself to y'all. Those of you that don't know me, and those that you do know me, you may not want to know me. I'm Jennifer Cole Kahn. I am a natural food chef. I'm certified holistic healthcare professional, and I just got a certification in functional medicine coaching. And so what I do is help people, yay! And I'm actually working on some certifications in gut health, specifically hormonal health, and then childhood epidemics, because we're seeing lots and lots of different epidemics with children as far as allergies and autism and ADHD and things like that. And it's all related to diet and obesity in children. But gut health is very, very dear to my heart and my gut. So why do you think I would specifically talk about gut health as it relates to like weight loss and healthy? Hey, come on in. Anybody? Now I will pick on you because you will not sit in silence. Because we're all friends.
Tied to your gut.
Everything's tied to your gut. That's right. So what does that mean?
If your gut's not healthy,
The rest of you is not healthy. I had a girl, I was at the YMCA today taking a class. I'm in the middle of doing burpees, and the girl looks over at me, it's Teresa, by the way, looks over at me and says, what kind of over-the-counter pill can I get to lose weight? And I about fell out. I was like, I cannot believe of all people you're asking me that. You know, I was like, we need to look at what's going on with your gut. You know, the number one opportunist in your gut is sugar. Okay, it will take over, and it doesn't discriminate, and it actually starts calling the shots, which is very interesting. So we have to make our gut smarter before we can ever make it harder. What do you like? So, do I know? All right. So, so we go. Again, I brought this pot. I'm not actually going to cook anything today, but I wanted to give you an example of what we're seeing in our health world, in our healthcare today. So, if I have a pot boiling water, and I start putting obesity in here, what kind of person might I need to go see if I start gaining weight? John? Lauren? Okay, you're going to go to a personal trainer of some sort, right? So we're going to put this in the pot, right? So then what about anxiety? What kind of doctor are you going to go see for anxiety? Psychiatrist, right? How about joint pain? Rheumatologist, yeah, joint pain, okay. Acne, rosacea? Dermatologist. Sinus? ENT. Brain fog, who has it? Who in this room? You're lying if you tell me you don't, because we all do. We all got bad bugs, okay. Who would we go see for the brain fog? Neurologist. Food intolerances. Gastro could be an allergist in there. How about fatigue? Internist might be able to help you with that. Frequent colds.
Urgent care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Immunologist. You know, you go to someone that helps with your immune system. Bloating and gas. Gastrointestinal doctor. How about this one? Low libido. Hey.
OBGYN.
Endocrinologist. Need to go see somebody. Hey, come on in, Perry. Need to go see somebody for our hormonal levels, right? So, you know, when you say these things, how many? It's like a dozen different disorders. How many doctors? A dozen. Yeah, we named 12 different doctors that went with 12 different illnesses, right? Or 12 different conditions that we have. So they seem unrelated. Could my brain fog be the same as my acne? My low libido be part of my immune system? I get colds all the time? But they are. They are directly correlated with our gut health. 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Okay, so when you wonder why I can't get over colds, I'm having a hard time with this, is could be because your internal immune system is being compromised by the bad bugs. I don't know if you know this, but you're about 90% bacteria and about 10% human. They call us superorganisms, okay? Because we host bacteria all over our bodies, and it's called the microbiome. That means it's a small environment, and they're all over our bodies. And then we have the gut flora, the gut microbiome that's in there. So when any of the bugs are not happy, guess what else? We get brain fog, we get low libido, we can't think, I can't think now. We get joint pain, food intolerances, you know, all these things directly related to the gut bugs that we have. So I put all this in this pot because I'm making soup, right? So I've got all this, and then in a normal conventional medical way, this is boiling, and they would just take and put the lid on top. Okay, because you're going to go see every doctor, and it's just going to boil over. There's never getting to the root cause of what's making you sick. Okay, so what we look at and what I do in functional medicine is that we don't put the lid on it, we just turn the heat off. Okay, because that's where you get the root cause. The root cause is the flame, is the inflammation that's going on in the gut. So let's turn it off. Let's figure out what's going on there and treat the gut, and you'll be amazed at how many things go right for you. If you've had this 5 or 10 pounds that you've been trying to get off for 10 years or whatever, well, the gut is telling you can't, because it's feeding on other things. So you have to understand those what's going on down in there. I do have to have my notes because I get off on rabbit trails real quick. So your weight loss efforts are in your gut. You have 100 trillion bacteria that outnumber your human cells by 10. So like I said, when I really say we need to start looking at our bacteria, it's all over us. We've got good ones and we've got bad ones. And we want to feed the good ones, which would be called, is the buzzword of it? Probiotics. Anybody know what probiotics are? Can you tell me a definition? Other than it's something that you're going to take in a pill form.
Good bacteria.
It's good bacteria. It means pro-life. So antibiotics would mean what? No life. Okay. So pro-life. You know any foods that are probiotics?
Yogurt.
Yogurt with a live bacteria. Greek yogurt specifically. What else? Kefir. Anybody know what kefir is? Kefir is a fermented milk. It's actually 99% lactose free for those of you that can't do lactose. It's like a drinkable yogurt with live bacteria in it. What else? Anything? Sauerkraut? Not on the shelf. Not when it's got to be unpasteurized in the cold section. You can use it more ways than just on your hot dogs. So you know, you understand that. Kimchi. Anybody eat kimchi? Which is a fermented, like a Asian style cabbage that's fermented. I mean, if you go to a Japanese restaurant and get soup, the miso soup has 161 strands of live bacteria in it. That's why you eat it before you eat sushi, before you eat Japanese food, is actually to settle the stomach down. And then when you go there and you want to send it back because it's not boiling hot, well, it's not supposed to be boiling hot, because when you boil it, guess what you do? You kill the bacteria. Side note, because I get off on those, honey is a probiotic. For those of you that put it in your hot boiling coffee and tea, you have negated every good enzymatic property for your allergies when you put it in that boiling hot tea. You killed it, okay? So just eat it and then drink your coffee, okay? Or put it on something that's cold or room temperature, okay? And ingest it that way.
Jennifer, how much honey would you recommend? I mean, I love honey, but I know it's also high in sugar.
Mhm.
So how much honey, like, in a serving?
Well, here's the thing. When you get next time when you come, we're going to talk about sugar. Okay, completely about sugar. But it's natural sugar. Honey is natural sugar. It's totally not changed in any form or fashion. If you're getting it now, if you go to get some sous vide honey, okay, it may have something else in it. If you're going to the farmer's market and getting local raw honey, that's yeah. But they say, and I would consider that, even though it's a natural sugar, it is an added sugar. Okay, because you're adding it into something. So for women, you get 20 grams of added sugar a day. So that would be 4 teaspoons.
Okay.
But there is no other added sugar. That would be all the honey you can have is 4 teaspoons. Men is 36 grams of sugar, and children is 12. Okay, and that when I say grams of sugar, what does that mean to anyone in this room? Can anyone interpret when I say 36 grams of sugar, what that would equate to, like if you looked at it? Of course not, because I don't want you to know that, okay? If you don't remember anything from our 5 weeks together, I want you to remember this. 4 grams equals 1 teaspoon. So 20 grams for you by 4 is 5 teaspoons, 5 teaspoons of sugar. Added sugar, okay? Sweet potatoes have sugar in them, but there is no added to it. Now, if I took the honey and drizzled it over the top of the sweet potato, well, now I have added sugar to that. So be very careful. The thing about honey is it is all fructose. Fructose is metabolized very, very differently in our liver than other sugars. So it's still in moderation, you know, but it's a way better choice. Pure maple syrup and honey are my two go-tos if I ever put anything in anything. Those are my two. If I'm doing something vegan, it's going to have maple syrup in it. If it's not vegan, it can have honey in it, okay? Because vegans don't eat honey. Anybody know why? Because bees got faces. So there you go. I don't understand that, but I don't need to understand it. Okay. Told you 80% of your immune system is found in your gut. Serotonin. You know what serotonin is? It's our feel-good neurotransmitter. And I'm sure you can guess where it's just about all produced. In your gut. 80% of it, almost more than 80% of it, is produced in your gut. So when you're like, I feel anxious, I have anxiety, I just don't feel well, something's wrong. It is your gut telling you that. It's not your brain. It's your gut telling you that. So, so when we have people that take some medications to reuptake their serotonin, we really need to look at what's going on in the gut and see how we can adjust that before we do some medications. And I know sometimes we need some medications. I've taken some in my lifetime. I won't say, but wean myself right back off to be right where I needed to be. Here's interesting is our belly. Y'all may have heard this. It has its own brain. It's called the second brain. We have the head brain and we have the belly brain. The head brain weighs about 3 pounds, and the bacteria in your gut, guess what, weighs about 3 pounds. So if you ever think, well, I can't lose that last 5-10 pounds, well, you got 3 of it here and 3 of it in here. You got 6 you're not ever going to lose. It's always going to be there. So as far as weight loss goes in our gut bacteria, and this is very, very interesting, it alters the way we store fat. Carrie and I had lunch yesterday. We were talking about cortisol and the way we store fat when we have too much cortisol, too much chronic stress all the time. We start storing around our bellies because we're not utilizing that stress. When cortisol is raised, we'll do a hormone class too. Cortisol is raised, that means we're in a fight or flight mode. That is our hormone that means I need to get out of here. But we stay in that constant state of stress all the time. Doing a workout here with John and Lauren, your body produces cortisol. You eat gluten, you eat certain foods, your body produces cortisol. I go out here and turn left, somebody comes along and almost hits me, I produce cortisol. Got a business deal going on, don't know how it's going to go, you're going to produce cortisol. We stay in this state all the time. And so, but we're not doing the fight or flight, so all that energy that we're supposed to be using gets stored right around here in our belly for later use, because it thinks our bodies thinks you're eventually going to do something with all this, and they don't. So it's very interesting. How we balance glucose in the blood. You're pre-diabetic, let's look at your gut. You got your blood sugars raised, let's look at your gut. How we respond to hormones that make us feel hungry or full. We've got 30 different hormones that are produced in our gut, so it's going to tell you if you're full or satiated, full or hungry. Here's what I find very, very interesting. Gut bacteria of obese people are more efficient at extracting calories from food passing through the digestive tract. We've got 2 primary bacteria, and obese people carry a particular one in more, and it wants more calories. It craves it. So when people are like, I work out all the time and I can't change. It's the gut bugs that are really determining what you're going to eat. When you're like, I don't have any willpower. Yeah, you don't have willpower of those bugs down there. They will trump you. You've got to get the right ones, the balanced. The bad ones get a higher ratio of the good ones versus the bad ones in there. And so we're going to talk about that. They increase cravings because they can manipulate your behavior and your appetite in order to obtain more sugar and refined carbohydrates to fuel and to reproduce and thrive. So when you think, I can't stop eating sugar, I don't know why, it's because you got the sugar lovers in the belly, and they're gonna rule. So something to think about. Your brain, your belly sends about 400 times more signals to your brain than your brain does to your gut. 400 more times. It's determining. If they're connected by the vagus nerve, they start out at the same point. One goes up to your brain, one goes down to you. If we sever the vagus nerve, the gut could continually to do exactly what it does. It does everything in digestion. It doesn't need the brain to tell it what to do. It does everything completely separate from the brain. However, the brain does not do everything from the gut. So you have to understand that. This is what, no one ever says, I've got butterflies in my brain. All right, so I've got butterflies in my stomach, I don't feel it. Or I've got that kidney feeling. You have the gut feeling, right? Yeah, you've got liver. You know, Perry's got gut. She plays pickleball like a banshee. But we don't think about it. It is always back to the gut. The gut knows. It is all knowing. It is intuitive about everything. If you have that gut feeling, it is derived from a knowing point of your body, and it's an untapped source of wisdom, power, and information that we don't ever go to. We think, oh, I need to start eating kale and salmon and walnuts, and I need to start working out 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and that's going to make me healthy. Well, no, it's not. Actually, we look into what our gut really needs. A lot of times, weight will just kind of fall off of you. Your skin will clear up, brain fog will go away, sinus problems go away. So it's very, very interesting. And back to weight loss. We live in a society where we have lots of facts, and I'm giving you lots of facts today. But ultimately, my goal for you, in anything I've ever said, Carrie's been with me for a long time and been to lots of my classes, and I've never deviated from this, what I'm about to tell you. If you eat a plant-based, high-fiber diet, you cannot go wrong. Okay, I didn't say vegetarian or vegan. It can be in there. But a plant-based, high-fiber diet, you will give your gut everything it needs, and a colorful freshness and variety is what you want on your plate. But we think we can't lose weight, but the problem is our brains and our gut cannot understand a high-fat diet. Like, it can't understand that. It just wants to eat basic things. So when we see on the people that are doing the challenge, people posting things about, are these good for me? Well, my first foremost question is, if you have to ask me if it's good for you, it's probably not. All right? Okay. So I brought these today. Anybody have any questions about anything? Okay. But back to it before I finish this is, you think about animals. How many of you have dogs, cats, whatever? You think about animals. Like, a lion out in the wild doesn't think, is it a caribou today or is it a zebra? I mean, it doesn't think about that. It just thinks, I need to eat, and this is what I eat, and I'm not going to think about anything different. Or, it doesn't think, well, is a hippopotamus going to have too much fat for me, or not. Or when you think about dogs, when they get sick, or what do? They go eat grass. They go eat plants to make themselves well. What do? We go to the doctor, or we try to self-medicate on something else to make us feel well. So we intuitively know, and if we can actually watch animals, we can learn a lot about our own health. So so I say all this. I have no clue what time it is, so you'll have to let me know if I start running over. But yeah, anybody seen these at the store? Anybody bought them? I'm not going to knock you. I know it's good. I always talk about good, better, best, because we all do good. Just trying to do better, and if you can get best, hallelujah. But let's just try to do better. So this is a better junk. Okay. There is, there is junk, and then there's food. But let's not get confused. There's no such thing as junk food, because they don't go together. It's either junk or it's food, either way. But this is a better junk for a multitude of reasons. Because first of all, it's got a non-GMO label on here, which is non-genetically modified. So it's not completely sprayed with pesticides around it, which is another contributor to our gut health. Plastics and pesticides are really, really harming our gut. So it's got some nice things about it. It's gluten-free if you've got along those kind of things. It's got another label over here about it being a whole grain and things like that. But what I want you to understand is when you go to, I'm going to let Lauren do this since she's right here on the front. So if you will just read those ingredients out loud, for us so that we can use them.
Non-GMO, stone ground whole corn,
Corn, non-GMO corn,
sunflower oil,
sunflower oil,
sweet potato,
sweet potato,
sprouted seed and grain blends.
Uh,
So that's sprouted quinoa,
sprouted-
sprouted chia seed,
quinoa and chia seeds,
and pure sea salt.
and pure sea salt.
You can pronounce all of them.
Yeah, you can pronounce all, and you could buy them all. Right, you could buy every ingredient on there. Everybody's heard of quinoa or chia seeds and sweet potatoes and things like that. So, as far as a label reading standpoint, that's a very clean chip. But when we look at it and we look at servings, how many servings is in here? How many servings is in here?
For me,
Literally, yeah. Most people, two, as you sit, because we mindlessly do like this. So actually, there are 6 servings in here. Okay. So, and a serving is one. Let me get a whole one. They're all kind of crunched up. 2. So I'll put it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. 8, 9. Okay, so that's a serving. Really? Okay. So, 130 calories, 7 grams of fat, 2 grams of fiber, 2 grams of protein, 16 carbohydrates, blah, blah, blah. But what I want you to see is, even if I ate this whole bag of chips, it's not very much, ultimately, when you think about it. But if you were to take the ingredients, what we have there, corn, I have a dish here that has corn and roasted sweet potatoes and quinoa, and I'm about to put sunflower seeds on top, and chia seeds, and there's actually cilantro in there, and a little extra lemon, lime juice that's in there. But we've got corn, sweet potatoes, sunflower seeds, quinoa, chia seeds, and sea salt. Okay, so would you rather eat something like this, or would you rather have a few chips? I understand we're going to have chips and we're going to have convenience food, but as far as like something that is going to be satiating, something that's going to be of quality, something that's going to stay with you, something that's going to make you feel good because you made it versus you buying it, which is going to be more?
that just looks better.
Yeah, yes, that is more appetizing. This is 4 to 6 servings. That's a lot of food. I mean, this could be a side dish. That's what I want you to see. So when you're reading these labels out there, and you're thinking, "Oh, is this good for me?" And you flip around the ingredients, you're like, "Well, a hot dog. That's a salad. I can make that into, and that's a meal. That's how I come up with half the stuff I make for y'all." It's like I was like, "Woo, let me see what people are buying, and let me make it into something real that they want to eat." Okay. So, and I bring this up about the gut because the first step into that is there's all these different protocols that you can go to, bone broth, and doing all these different things. But the main thing is just to get away from junk, to get away from processed foods, because this is processed. Okay, this is, this does not have the nutritional value that this does sitting right here in this pan. So the first step is just to look at things and say, I could make a meal for my whole family for a couple of days, or if they're not going to eat this, I could eat this for several days and share it with family. And it would be, fantastic. So something to think about. And also, what I like for people to understand is something about repurposing food. Ever heard about repurposing food? How many of you been out to a restaurant? Well, then you've had repurposed food because you go in on one day and they've got roasted butternut squash on the menu, and then you go on the next day and they got butternut soup. So they made it into something else, right? So they've used food again. So I want you to think about this. If you take the effort and the time to make food for yourself and for your family, don't think about just eating it one time. Think about how can I eat it multiple times and change it up, and so that I can, or share it with a friend. I'm always good about that. If you got people that you trust them cooking for you, you make something, they make something, then you meet and you swap the food, and you've got several meals. But you learn how to mix it up together. So I was going to show you, this is the same ingredient here, but I'm going to take you and show you how to make it into 3 different meals. So this is, I'm going to give you the recipe for this and sample it too, but this truly, that's what it makes. That's how much food it makes. This is half of that in there. Okay, so what I could do is take and add leafy green. What other leafy green could it be? Anybody? Come on, kale girl. Kale. This is spinach. It could be kale. It could be arugula, Swiss chard, mixed greens. There's all kinds of things. So we're taking it from, it's beautiful there, but did it not just get more prettier with color, freshness, and variety? That's what I always want you to think about. This also, when you're eating food, you want things that have lots of different textures in them. It's got a small, the quinoa, the seeds are going to be crunchy. The sweet potatoes are going to be, smooth and chewy. The corn is going to have crunch to it. Then you're adding this element of now into spinach in there, so you have another element to chew. Our mouths love this kind of thing. Digestion starts in the mouth, which helps our gut. So when we're drinking all of our nutrition, we're missing out on this whole element of chewing, which we have teeth for. So let's not forget to use them. So I've taken it from this little, initial. Just dumped it everywhere. This initial salad. Now I've got it in this type of salad. So the next element that I might want to add to it, because it is sort of Mexican, or a little flair like that, would be black beans. Okay. I teach multiple classes on beans, greens, and grains. So now I just added a whole other element of my favorite F word. Fiber. Fiber is your friend for your gut bugs. I'll tell you, it is. So now I've taken it and I've got greens in it. I've added more fiber and protein because we're a protein-obsessed country. And so we've added that in there. Okay. So after that, so I've had it like this. I've had it as a salad, and I've added black beans into it. And now this is scrambled eggs. I mean, who doesn't love a scrambled egg? So I want you to think about how you can take. Now this is breakfast. Now this just went into the breakfast mode. So breakfast doesn't have to be breakfast, okay? And it actually should not be breakfast, because what does breakfast consist of? Cereal, bagels, toast. A bunch of carbohydrates that we don't necessarily need all the time, that don't work for you. You want to eat functional foods. This is a highly functional food, or this is not. So now I've got breakfast here. This could have been put into a frittata. You baked it in the oven with the salad into the frittata. So you've got these different elements, and I hate it, I spilled it everywhere. But you see how you can take it and keep utilizing it. And then if you already had the spinach in there, before you put the eggs and everything, you could take and warm it up and saute it, and the spinach would wilt. It'd be fantastic, So to be able, if you're taking time to prepare food, think about other ways that you could do this. What else could we have added to this to make it more of a meal? Chicken. Sweet potatoes. If you eat pork, Franny, bacon would be, a little bit of bacon would be beautiful on there. Shrimp would be delicious on there. So think about what you can do. Eating vegetarian at one time, and then adding animal protein to it another time. So you can do these things and not work yourself to death. It's about being smarter and not having to work so much harder in preparing food. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can put it in a wrap. Would be great in a wrap. There's nothing wrong with that, because this is the kind of foods that you want to eat that are good, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, and good protein in there. Quinoa is a perfect protein in itself. It's like eating an egg. So people don't realize that. That's one step if you're trying to reduce some animal protein out of your diet. I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan. I know, but I have to tell people that because they think I am. I'm not. I ate big old steak wraps with her yesterday. But if someone needs to reduce the amount of animal protein they're eating, quinoa is a nice step to do it, because you're not losing any of that protein. And it's gluten-free, and so that's why I brought that today. So any questions about anything? No? Who wants to taste it? All right, well, come on. Y'all come on. Come taste, and you can taste this. I've got plates. Y'all come on. Gary will come.